Okay, let's go ahead and call this meeting to order, and we'll start with our pledge of allegiance and our invocation. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to come together here today. Please empower us to recognize the ways in which we are blessed and continue to grant us the spirit of service. We ask that you help us in building a community of unity. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
We have a proclamation.
Yes, Mayor Council, good afternoon. We have Ms. Pat Blum here with us today that will be accepting this proclamation, which reads as follows. Whereas Children's Advocacy Center, Estrella's House, was established in the year 2000 in tribute to Estrella Rojas, a victim of child abuse whose life ended tragically in Edinburgh, Texas. Her memory is kept alive by helping and treating any child who is a victim of child abuse. Whereas Children's Advocacy Center, a nonprofit organization, is one of 800 children advocacy centers nationwide, one of 68 certified children's advocacy centers in Texas, and the first child-focused facility and community-based program of its kind in Hidalgo County, servicing child abuse victims aged 2 to 17 years of age. And whereas the mission of Children's Advocacy Center is to reduce the emotional trauma to child abuse victims by facilitating a multidisciplinary team approach which supports the prevention of child abuse through community education and promotes the effective prosecution of those who perpetrate crimes against children. And whereas Children's Advocacy Center provides a safe haven with a child-friendly, non-institutional environment where young victims are not afraid to tell their story. Re-victimization of a child victim is minimized by using a multidisciplinary team approach to child abuse investigations. And whereas services include child forensic interviews, child forensic evaluations, family advocate crime victims liaison, sexual assault nurse examiners, mental health services, and prevention, education, and outreach. And whereas the City of Mission is mindful of the critical economic hardships due to reductions in federal and state funding to social service providers such as the Children's Advocacy Center. Whereas the Children's Advocacy Center, Estrella's House, is having their 5th annual Vinos Wine Extravaganza at La Antigua Revilla on Saturday, February 20th, 2016 from 7 p.m. Gosh, Hannah, how are you there early? From 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. featuring wine entertainment by premier show band Electric Circus and Renaissance rockers and delicious food from local restaurants. Now, therefore, be it declared, the City Council of the City of Mission supports this event to raise funds to support the Children's Advocacy Center, Estrella's House, in their mission to stop child abuse, one child at a time, proclaimed on this, the 8th day of February 2016.
Second, Mayor.
We have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve the proclamation of the Children Advocacy Center. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries. We do have a resolution.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. My name is Pat Blum, and I have with me today Rick Romero, who is our Board Treasurer, and Jesus Sanchez, who is our Director of Finance. And on behalf of the Children's Advocacy Center Board and staff, I want to thank you for today's proclamation and for your continued support of this very vital effort of providing services to child abuse victims in Hidalgo and Stark counties. In 2000, when the center was established, 234 children received services. In 2015, services were provided to 1,208 child abuse victims. 170 of those children live in the City of Mission. Our staff works closely with Chief Dominguez, law enforcement from other cities and counties, as well as Child Protective Services and the DA's offices. The Advocacy Center is a child-friendly environment where the abused child can tell his or her story one time in a taped interview, without having to be re-victimized over and over by having to repeat the events and reliving the abuse. We strive to not only keep the child from being re-victimized, but also to see that the predator is prosecuted. So as you heard in the proclamation, it's time for our 6th annual Vinos, our only fundraiser, and it's on Saturday, February 20th from 7 to 11 p.m. at La Antigua Rivera. We have wonderful wine, and our guests enjoy not only the wine, but great food from local restaurants and music from Renaissance Rockers, our local docks, and Electric Service, one of the top 40 Austin show bands. Our guests do this all the time while they are helping to support our services to the children of Hidalgo and Stark counties. All of our funds stay locally. And the funds that we receive, we can use those to help us get matching grants. So that's why it's really important, and we really appreciate your support. I hope to see you guys there on the 20th. And no, we really appreciate what you do for the center. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you mind taking a picture of the
Love to take a photo.
You want us to go around? Okay.
We look over here to me, and in 3, 2, 1. One more.
Thank you.
Next proclamation, a very important person here. A proclamation of Lupita Garza for 100th birthday.
Yes, Mayor, Council, and we're honored to have Ms. Garza here with us today. The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas Guadalupe Lupita Garza was born on the King Ranch on February 10, 1916, to Francisca and Luis Esparza. And whereas Lupita worked alongside her father on their ranch in Cuero, Texas, helping in the fields and with livestock, she never had the opportunity to attend school, but taught herself to read and write both in Spanish and English. And whereas Lupita and Guillermo Willie Garza met in McAllen and were married for 53 years until Mr. Garza's death in 1993. During their marriage, they lived in Mission and McAllen and worked for many years as migrant workers, following the crops as far north as Naperville, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago, but always returning to the valley. And whereas in 1953, the family settled in Illinois, where Lupita and Willie owned a trucking business, delivering produce from local farms to markets in downtown Chicago, and the then New Chicago O'Hare Airport for shipment. Willie driving one truck and Lupita driving the second one. She still loves to tell stories of her truck driving days when she would compete for parking spaces with drivers of semi-trailer trucks from Campbell Soup and National Canning Companies. And whereas after retiring, Lupita and Willie wintered in the valley for many years. Lupita now resides with her daughter in Mission and enjoys visiting with friends and, of course, watching her novelas. And whereas Lupita has 4 sons, Billy Garza of McAllen, Albert, Manuel, Ray, and Bill Garza of Frederick, Maryland, 3 daughters, Santos Sandroth of Mission, Emma Hankins, and Elena Garza of Aurora, Illinois. She is blessed with 14 grandchildren, 13 great-grandchildren, and 4 great-great-grandchildren. Now therefore, we, the City Council of the City of Mission, do hereby wish Guadalupe Lupita Garza a happy and blessed 100th birthday, proclaimed on this the 8th day of February 2016.
Do you need a motion to approve this proclamation?
Mayor, I move for approval.
Second.
Motion is second to approve the proclamation. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries.
Let's take a picture here.
Mayor and Council, Ms. Garza, on behalf of the City of Mission, Mayor Roberto Salinas of the City Council, we have a special gift to give Ms. Garza.
That's her favorite place. Oh my God.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Guadalupe Garza, I'd like to thank you all for this report. Recognizing her today for this wonderful gift. She doesn't get out very much anymore, but once in a while when she's having a good day, we'll ask her, do you want to go? You know, to ride around. Sometimes she just likes to ride around the City of Mission and reminisce about the places where she lived and worked. But when she can, we take her to La Luna. That's her favorite place to go. So thank you so much.
It's been an honor. Thank you. Thank you. On our next item, we will have a report from our Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Myers.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. On the 27th, we welcome CC's to the Mission Chamber with a ribbon cutting ceremony. I'd like to thank you for being in attendance, Mayor. On that day, we also welcomed another member, Kadir Nels, with a ribbon cutting ceremony. And later that evening, we hosted our monthly after-hours business mixer. It was sponsored and held at Texas Regional Bank. On the 29th, we held our monthly Coffee Connections networking event that was sponsored by Kemper Investments. The Chamber is all about Mega Winter Texan Fiesta this week. That's what we're focused on. Of course, you know that will be held this weekend. We hope to see you all there as well. Please see your packets for information on these and our other activities. Thank you.
Next item is the reports that you have in your packet. Department reports. If you don't have any questions on those reports, we need to get a motion to approve.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the department reports. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Citizens' participation, do we have anybody from the audience who would like to address the council? Not have anything to do on our agenda today? No, we don't have there now. Our public hearings, we'll go ahead and start with our 1.18.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. Item 1.1A is a public hearing to solicit input in favor or against the proposed development of a seniors-only gated multifamily residential community consisting of 126 units. The nature of the request is to hold a public hearing to consider Brownstone's intent to submit an application to the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs for the 2016 competitive 90% housing tax credits for this project. We mailed approximately 231 notices out to people that live within this area, and we have some exhibits for you to review. This is a public hearing to solicit input in favor or against resolution that's proposed.
So this is a public hearing. Anybody in favor or against this project, we're not, don't hesitate to come and share your views with us.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members, Mr. Goddess. My name is Jed Brown. I'm with Brownstone Affordable Housing and Brownstone Construction. Also with me this evening from Brownstone are Doe Brown and Alfonso Davila. If we're on the first slide, first let me start by thanking you very much for the opportunity to speak before you this afternoon on our proposed 112-unit tax credit development. We originally anticipated fitting 126 units on the site, but after evaluating the site and after meeting with the city manager and the planning staff, we determined that 112 units would fit better onto the site. Next slide. What we are proposing is a high-end community financed by housing tax credits. This is a privately funded development. This is not something that receives any government funds or government assistance. It's a gated, fenced community for seniors. It's a truly a mixed-income community. Whether you make 30%, 50%, 60% of area median income, or you're a multimillionaire, there's a spot there for you if you'd like to live here. All the units are energy efficient. That's what's required through the TDHCA as part of the program. The site that we selected, we believe, is very good because of the proximity to services that seniors like to use. I know just north on 495, there's at least 5 or 6 doctor's offices, an adult daycare, 2 to 3 pharmacies, lots of restaurants, 3 banks, the kind of amenities that seniors use. The design that we've come up with, which you'll see in a few slides later, proposes all one-story structures around the perimeter of the building, perimeter of the development. That was very key to us because we don't want any 2-story buildings against any of the surrounding residential. Again, the location. Here we go. This is a zoomed out, and we'll do a zoom in. It's south of 495, west of Taylor, north of Business 83. And then you can do the close-up slide next. And this is a better picture of where it's located. The green figure of a little over 10 acres is the location of the property along Taylor Road on the west side of Taylor Road. Next slide. We've come up with 3 different site plans to present this evening. We come to you hat in hand. We want you to know that we will work with planning staff, the city manager's office, and you all to come up with a site plan that would be well received by you all. What we've done is we've laid out, again, 1-story buildings along the perimeter, the north, west, and south side. And in the middle, it's a 2-story building right there. That is a 2-story building in order to get the 112 units on the site. We propose a lot of green space within the area, planting a lot of trees. What we think is particularly important about, back to the one story again, is that you don't have a situation where lights are shining into people's backyards or anybody can look into somebody's backyards. And that's one of the problems people would say with apartments is that you put a tall structure beside residential. We're not proposing to do that. Then this particular slide, the first one, does not show East 22nd going through. I know there's some discussion with the planning department. If it's required, we'll put it in. If it's not required, we won't put it in. What we've done with this particular slide at Tory Lane is we propose to construct at our own expense a cul-de-sac to serve the neighborhood to our north, so there's no through traffic into their development. I know if I lived on Tory Lane, this is what I would want, because I wouldn't want vehicles driving through my neighborhood.
Mr. Mayor, just briefly, so for purposes of fairness, this is a public hearing and we do have a 3-minute rule. I understand it's informative, but we do have that rule.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
I'm sorry, I should have told you. So,
May I have a little extra time there? Or may I have a little extra time there to go through the rest of the slide? Or no?
well, we have another item on the agenda, so you want to come back on the other item.
Yes, sir. Okay, if there's questions, I'd certainly like to continue with the presentation.
Anybody else that's in favor or against this request? Anybody from the audience that might be against this request? State your name and address, and the time limit is 3 minutes.
Good afternoon. I'm John Townsend Jr., a resident of Mission. And this particular property has been in my family for many, many decades. And I feel like my parents, as well as my grandparents, would be very pleased the direction it's going, that it will be able to be used for not only the elderly, but as a benefit towards Mission residents and the city of Mission. And my father who passed away recently also would have been, I think, it would have been a viable alternative for not only myself, but he had to stay in some sort of care for 10 years, and it was a burden for all of us, and that certainly would have been a help. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Anybody else who would like to address the council in favor or against this request?
Good afternoon. My name is Augustine Cook. I live on the property adjacent to Mr. Townsend's land there on the south side. And at this time, I'm not for or against the development that he's talking about, but I'm here to gather information regarding this development. And one of the questions or concerns that I have is about that 22nd Street. Several years ago, we tried to develop our property and presented our plans to the city of Mission. And we were told that we would have to bring that 22nd Street through our property on as far as to Taylor Road in order to develop our property. Well, I'm concerned whether that's been waived or how does that work out there? Supposedly, the city said that we were going to have half the street put on our property and half put on Mr. Townsend's property, and now I'm not sure what the.
We'll be asking him to go ahead and bring it up all the way down to Sherry or Taylor.
Well, it's got to go from halfway from Sherry Road to Taylor.
That's correct, sir, and that's part of our thoroughfare plan. That 22nd Street needs to open between Taylor all the way to Sherry Road, so we can have that consistency of traffic.
All right.
So that will not be waived.
Another question I had: is there going to be any Section 8 housing in this seniors community?
We do not know. We will probably, all we can tell you is for the elderly, and there might be some people that might be eligible.
I heard him say that there was, or the first gentleman spoke, that there was going to be people from the 30%, I'm not sure how he worded that, 30% income bracket to wealthy people that are going to be there. I don't know if that includes Section 8 housing or also what kind of incentives or tax credits that they're going to get. I know that the government has a tax credit program for Section 8 housing, and I'm just concerned whether or not that is going to be included.
But it might have some, but it's going to be for the elderly that belong to Section 8, maybe. I don't know. I would think that they might have a few, but it's a problem that they have to have high-income people living there, middle class, and the low class, but they all have to be elderly.
Okay, now are people besides the elderly going to be allowed to have other family members living with them there?
No.
It's going to be restricted just to the senior residents only. There's not going to be any other family members allowed to visit.
Well, they can visit, but I don't think they can stay. But I mean, this is only an application that they are putting out to the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs. I mean, it might happen and it might not happen. It's a long process.
Now, are there going to be any increases to the community of Mission as far as law enforcement assets to help cover this area? What the cost of that may be? That's a item that everyone should be concerned with. And I guess that's basically it.
You're not in
22nd Street.
You're not in favor or against?
Like I say, I'm neither for or against it. I just would like information. This time there's a lot of gray area here.
We're going to have a lot of time to talk to you as we go on. It's going to take some time. And they're only asking for us to approve a resolution that they want to make an application concerning this kind of housing. But we still have a lot of time.
So it's not been approved by the city at this time. Even if you vote for it today, it will not be.
We only sent in an application that they need, that they're going to be using that piece of property for the project. Nothing has been approved at all.
There will be other public hearings, for example, the zoning would still need to be zoned for the appropriate project, in this case multifamily, so there will be another public hearing to rezone the property for multifamily. Right now, it's not. So the only thing that we're hearing today is just to get an idea from the public, from the neighbors there, whether the council should consider signing the resolution to allow them to turn this application over to Manaus. So there's another public process to take place, and that will be the rezone part.
They still need to get approved in Austin to the Department of Housing. And that takes a long process.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mayor, Councilman, Councilwomen, I'm Lisa Helly. My family's been residents here in Mission since 1944. I came up to the podium here to actually share with y'all a few things I do know about the project, being in the real estate business. First of all, the cost of the city of Mission is your resolution, your support, and $100. That's the cost to the taxpayers of the city of Mission. Second of all, this is a taxable, property taxes still have to be paid on this project to the city and to the county. We are not, it doesn't receive property tax abatements of any kind, or shouldn't affect Mr. DeCook's, what he was talking about in his taxes. I am in favor of the project, not just because of being involved in the development and have knowledge of how it will help our seniors. I do think that Mission does have a need for senior housing. I think that people need to know that 100% of the people that live in a project like this have to pass a background criminal check. That's very important. I don't know anyone who doesn't like having seniors as neighbors. They're very quiet. They don't have hot rod cars going in and out at all hours of the night. And as you can see, and if you have been told, this is a gated community. I don't know very many seniors that are out in the middle of the night thieving. So they generally make pretty good neighbors. And And while I can see that there is a concern by the surrounding people, as Mr. Brown mentioned, he's here at work with Mr. Martin Garza and others to make sure that they can come up with the best plan that not only meets the city's needs by putting East 22nd Street through and allowing that easement right away whenever needed, but also taking care of Tory Lane and trying to help those neighbors to the north to know that nobody's going to be looking down in their neighborhood. So, number one, great seniors project. We need it. We're all baby boomers getting to that age where we got to find an affordable place to live, and a lot of our facilities in the valley are $3,000 to $5,000 a month. So those are my main points that I'd like to share with you. Thank you.
Thank you. State your name and address, you got 3 minutes.
Virginia Townsend, 1603 Vintage Lane. We all get to the, I'll speak for us, me and my husband, get to the age where we know we're going to have to downsize. But there's not a whole lot of options. And actually, we've been looking at some of the options. They're not the greatest. We like our independence. We'll never want to give that up. So to go in a high rise where there's a whole bunch of people, probably not. So we're looking for something that would be more where we'll still be independent and have a choice on where we live. And we would love to stay in Mission. I mean, I would never want to miss it. And just think about it. We lived on Taylor Road for 48 and a half years. And when we moved into town, I thought, oh my, we're leaving Taylor Road. Well, we might be back someday. Anyhow, it's a good opportunity as far as I can see. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else who would like to give out your opinion? Well, we'll go ahead and close this public hearing. Thank you. You want to start?
506.
And we'll go ahead and move on to disposition of minutes. And we'll go ahead and approve the minutes for the city council that we had on January 25th of 2016. We do a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We also need to acknowledge the receipt of the minutes for our juvenile justice and delinquency prevention advisory board. Special meeting that we had on November the 18th of 2015.
I want to approve that non-receipt minutes.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries. On 4.1 is the approval of resolution 1430 in support of a senior obligated one-family residential community consisting of 126 units. This is the same property that we're talking about in our public.
Staff received a letter on January 12, 2016, and by Brownstone Development, the team requested a resolution in support of this multifamily apartment complex for senior citizens. Brownstone intends to submit an application to the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs for the 2016 competitive 9% housing tax credits for this project. Staff recommends approval of this resolution. This matter is now before you.
We do have a recommendation. Any questions from the council?
I move to approve, Mayor.
Second, Mayor.
We do have a motion and a second to go ahead and approve the resolution.
Resolution.
Number 1430. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. 4.2 is the approval of ordinance 4310, repealing ordinance number 3022, and amending chapter 98 and section 98-273.
Yes, sir, Mayor and Council. Item 30, Ordinance 3022. This ordinance was passed or or let me start off here. On April 25th of 2005, the Mission City Council approved ordinance number 3022, wherein sewer capital recovery fees were established for new subdivisions connecting into the City of Mission's wastewater system. Said ordinance is distinguished between connections occurring outside Mission city limits and inside city limits. The City of Mission desires to encourage and promote economic development within the city limits, as well as development within the city's future expansion area or within our ETJ. Staff believes that removing the distinction between outside and inside city limits for purposes of connection to the wastewater system would be in the best interest of the City of Mission. Staff recommends approval of repeating ordinance 3022 and amending chapter 98, section 98-273 of the Mission Code of Ordinances entitled Capital Recovery Fees for New Subdivisions that connect to the City of Mission. And we do have our Public Works Director and our City Engineer in agreement, as is our City Manager. And on the following pages, you have a copy of the ordinance that was prepared by our City Attorney for your review. This matter is now before you.
Any recommendations to approve ordinance 4310? We need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and second to approve ordinance 4310. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries. 4.2.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. Item 4.3 is a final plat approval for Ellis subdivision number 6. This is a 5.0 acre tract of land consisting of all of lot 7, Abram North subdivision. This is within our rural ETJ. The developer is Tech Citrus Land Development Company. The engineer is Salinas Engineering and Associates. On September 8th of 2014, the City Council convened and approved a preliminary plat approval for Ellis subdivision number 6. The proposed subdivision is located approximately 1,300 feet north of 4 Mile along the west side of Davis Lane, approximately 1/4 mile east of Abram Road. The City Council unanimously recommended approval as per staff's recommendations. This is a 10-lot, single-family, half-acre subdivision in the county. Staff recommends approval. We've been out there and seen everything is done correctly. And you do see routing signatures from our fire marshal, our public works director, our city engineer, and our city manager. We all recommend approval, the final approval for this subdivision.
The recommendation is to approve Ellis subdivision number 6 on a plot number 01 acre. You want to a motion to approve the current plat?
So moved. Second.
The motion is second to approve the plat. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries. 4.4. Mr. Edwin.
Yes, Mayor, Council, good afternoon. This would be approval of Resolution 1431 to conduct joint elections with Mission Consolidated Independent School District in accordance with Texas Education Code Section 11.0581. And what this would do, Mayor and Council, is that we will be sharing the common polling location as per the Education Code.
This is for the,
Second.
this is for the election.
For the election, for the May election, yes, sir.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second to approve resolution 1431. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries. 4.5.
Yes, Mayor, Council, this would be approval of ordinance 4311, creating a City of Mission Board of Development Advisory Board, specifying the terms of office, qualifications for membership, and other provisions related to the subject matter. This is pursuant to Texas Local Government Code 371, which states that a governing body of a municipality with a population of 900,000 or less may appropriate from its general fund an amount not to exceed 1% of the general fund budget for the purpose of advertising the municipality and promoting its growth and development. The City of Mission desires to advertise and promote the city's continued growth and development, and therefore the creation of this board is to achieve this purpose, which will benefit the citizens and residents of Mission. The City of Mission Board of Development Advisory Board will make recommendations to the council for its consideration in regards to advertising the municipality and promoting its growth and development. We're recommending approval, Mayor, of the creation of this board.
Okay, Marty, we didn't do this. This is the board that we,
That's correct. This is an ordinance to be able to create a board. This board's responsibility would be to come up with different type of areas to advertise in order to promote the city and growth. The second or the next agenda item would be the recommendation that we have on
the board.
The board members, yes, sir.
We do need a motion to approve.
I so move, Mayor.
Second.
A motion and second, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Yes, Mayor, these would be the board appointments for the Board of Development Advisory Board, and we do have 3 of our board members here today with us. Mayor's recommendation is to appoint Rosalinda Gonzalez, Mr. Jerry Sines, and with us here today we have Ms. Maricela Marin, Mr. Julio Cerda, and Mr. Rudy Garcia, who have accepted to be appointed to this board.
Those are bad names who came up right away and decided to go ahead and move to the agenda. They will be meeting only once a year.
Yes, sir, and there'll be 2-year terms, and it'll be just like the way we do the regular board appointments. Every 2 years, we'll bring them up before council.
So those are the names. Do need a motion to appoint, to approve.
Second.
Do we have a motion? A second?
Yes, sir.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. 4.7.
Yes, Mayor Council. Item 4.7 is authorization for mayor to submit the Rio Grande Valley Walk of Fame nominee. We've received a request from the City of Hidalgo, their annual request to submit a name from our community leaders to be inducted into the Rio Grande Valley Walk of Fame. And this induction ceremony would take place during the Border Fest activities.
Well, I'm going to come up with the name of Mancho Chapa. He was the man of the year.
He was Mr. Mission, sir.
Mr. Bishop. To name him on the walk of fame.
So move, Mayor.
Second.
The motion and the second to approve Mr. Mancho Chapa to be on the walk of fame nominee. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Is it just one person that we?
The city does one, and then the chamber gets another nomination. Mayor Council, item 4.8 is authorization to purchase a compact excavator via state-approved contract for the Cemetery Trust Fund. Mayor Council, we're seeking authorization to purchase this equipment from Bobcat Company via state-approved buy board contract 424-13. This will be purchased to prepare the graves at Laurel Hill Catholic and San Jose Cemetery, and staff's recommending approval to make this purchase of this equipment.
No motion to approve.
So move, Mayor.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
4.9, Chief Dominguez.
Good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. The City of Mission Police Department is requesting authorization to accept additional grant funds from the County of Hidalgo for Operation Stone Garden 2014 under grant number 2014 SR 48215-01. The Mission Police Department was initially awarded $300,000. Our department is currently working in operation with U.S. Border Patrol, and additional funds are being made available to work the operation in the amount of $30,000. The additional funds will solely be utilized for overtime to work the aforementioned operation. Staff again requests authorization to accept additional funds from the County of Hidalgo.
So move, Mayor.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
4.10, Mr. Lopez.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council. Come before you, City Mission Fire Department is requesting authorization to accept the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Grant from the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Foundation. The Mission Fire Department has been awarded a total of $13,994.64. These money will be utilized for the purchase of bicycle, medic equipment, accessories, and a trailer. A few few months back, this council graciously allowed us to apply for this grant. And we're one of two, if I'm not mistaken, two cities in the valley that were awarded the grant. Ourselves and the county was also awarded the grant. How much?
32,000?
13,000. 994.64 cents.
Second, Mayor.
Motion is second to approve of the grant. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries.
And if you allow me, I'd like to introduce Captain Robert Alvarez, who was instrumental in putting this board together, this grant together. There will be a large celebration. The Firehouse Subs really wants to have a big media event. We'll be sending invitations to all of you. It'll be March. Thank you.
Great job, Katie.
Mayor, I'm going to ask you that on agenda item 411, which is the approval to enter into an interlocal agreement for mutual aid for fire protection between the city of Mission and the city of Palm Beach, that will take no action. We're going to continue working with this interlocal agreement with the city of Palm Beach.
We take no action on item 411. And we go on to item 412.
Good afternoon, Mayor, City Council members. Mr. Terraza couldn't be with us today. Come before you seeking authorization to award bid for the Inspiration Road Improvement Project. The City of Mission has received 2 bid responses for this project. Staff is recommending awarding to Texas Courier Construction LLC, who is the lowest responsive and responsible bidder meeting all specification in the total amount of $6,998,410.20. Of course, attached we have a bid tabulation and breakdown totals. I'm going to go over a slide prepared by Mr. Terrazas on the overview of the project and the construction project. Of course, this is Inspiration Road project, and we have on the first slide the location map. The project, beginning project will be from US 83 to 3 Mile Road, FM 1924, a total of approximately 3 miles. Next slide. The existing typical section for Inspiration Road, or the existing urban typical section, it's a 2-lane road, 11-foot lanes on each traffic direction, northbound and southbound. The proposed typical section, it's a 5-lane, of course, 2 lanes on northbound, 2 lanes southbound, and a continuous left turn lane throughout the project. And of course, there's going to be 2 major traffic signals at this project. One will be at FM 495 and Inspiration Road, and the other, of course, at 3 Mile Line and Inspiration Road. And this is a typical, typical picture of what it would look like once the project is completed. Going over some of the funding on this next slide, the Inspiration Road project funding. Of course, the project was allotted a total amount by the MPO of $10,581,611, and for which of those AFA funds, federal dollars were 8.5 million, approximately 8.5 million, state dollars 1.8 million, and City of Mission will be participating a total of $253,959, and that was the original, available AFA funds for this project.
And your lowest bid, how much is your lowest bid?
Now, the lowest bid, if it's approved by the City Council today, to Texas Courier Construction LLC, it's $6,998,410.20, meaning that 80% of those of that cost, or construction cost, will be paid by the federal government and 17.6% by the state.
What is the other bid? Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. You have 2 bids.
We have 2 bids, Mayor. The second,
The second bid, Mayor, came in by Foremost Construction, it is for 8.5 million.
8.5 million.
8,510,798 with 73 cents. 8.5. A difference of approximately 1.5 million from the lowest bidder being Texas Corning and Axis.
Is the lowest bid here?
I didn't see.
Who's the lowest bid?
Texas Court, I didn't see,
They're not here? Well, my only concern is that they left a lot of money on the table, and I want to make sure that their insurance is in place, their bond, and in case they don't get the job done with what they're asking us for. You know, and it's a big responsibility for us.
Good afternoon, Mayor.
Well,
as a purchasing director, I conducted my due diligence. We met with them, we discussed the price difference, and they feel comfortable. They ran their estimates, they ran the pricing, and they feel comfortable with the pricing. After approval of contract, we're gonna make sure that the proper insurance is in place and the performance and payment bonds are in place to minimize any risk on the city's behalf.
well, the only problem we have is that they can have all that in place. I just don't want to go through what we did with the building here on South Mayberry. It can take us, if somebody cannot get their job done with the amount of money that they've made a bid for, it'll take us forever. You know, and I want to make sure that these people know what they're doing. You know, and then they're going to, I mean, I wish they would talk to you, Martin, or to me, to make sure that I can feel comfortable by what they're going to be talking to me about.
Definitely.
Go ahead and set up that meeting for before first.
Yes, sir.
So because we are going to award the bid, but I just want to make sure, $1.5 million is a lot of money left on top of the table that we're going to keep for some other project or maybe on South Inspiration Road.
Yes, sir.
But I want to make sure when I see this guy that I know that he means business and he's going to do the job.
We'll definitely set up the meeting and so you can come in and give us peace of mind.
And the other thing, Mayor, I would like to also note that for change orders in the future of this company, you know, that we watch for that.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Sometimes, but you know, there's change orders done in the process after we award the bids that you know.
So this is it. There's no change orders with this.
We have the proper controls in place. We'll have LNG on board as a TS&E engineering firm to oversee all that.
This is a beautiful project, and we're getting a lot of money, and I don't want to mess it up. I want to make sure that these guys are comfortable with it, and that they're going to be able to do the job and leave it the way we are hoping that they will leave it at. And it's a great bid because it's going to save us $1.5 million or maybe $3 million. But I would like to see him in the face, and I'll tell you if he's going to do it or not.
No problem.
I mean, this deal about keeping their employees around and give you a bid simply because they're going to keep everybody working is not good. But that's the way it is, you know, and fix up that meeting and we'll go ahead and approve the lowest bid today.
We'll go ahead and make sure that we set up that meeting as soon as possible.
Are these people notified about this item on the agenda? I mean, it's a lot of money. I would think they would want to be interested in attending, and I mean, the way they can express their.
It's not a requirement for them to be in attendance.
Well, it's a $6 million bid. I mean, they're going to get $7 million from us. I would think that it would be important for them to be here. That was a wrong answer, of course.
Yes, sir. We'll go ahead and set up the meeting.
Okay, go ahead and get up the meeting, and then we'll go ahead and get it and get these people to work.
Yes, sir.
Do need a motion to accept the lowest bid of $6,998,000.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
We do have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Okay. 13 budget amendments.
afternoon, Mayor and City Council. Item 4.13 is the approval of the attached budget amendments.
How much is that?
The first budget amendment is for the general fund. It's a request of $168,000 in appropriations, and this is the city's match, the 2.4% of the construction project for the Inspiration Road. Then we have the capital projects fund. We have revenues of $7 million and appropriations of $7 million. This is to account for the budget for the Inspiration Road widening. It's $6.832 million coming from reimbursement of TxDOT and $168,000 coming as the 2.6% match from the city.
So you got $7 million, right?
Yes, it's a total for the construction portion of the Inspiration Road.
That's it? We need a motion?
Oh, I'm sorry, and then we also have the designated purpose fund. This is where we account for our grants. And I have 3 requests here. I have the $30,000 for the additional funds that are coming in from the Stone Garden, which you just approved. And then we have also the $13,995 from the Firehouse Subs Public Safety Grant that we also approved. And then I have a reclassification of $7,000 going from the recreational supplies to machinery and equipment, and thus is a reclassification so the Boys and Girls Club can purchase computers from the Urban County grant for their main unit.
So move, Mayor. Second.
Motion and second to approve the budget amendments. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. 4.14.
Item 414 is the approval of December 2015 financial statements. Our unadjusted beginning fund balance was $20,953,915. Our total revenues for the period were $11,183,114. Our total expenditures were $5,213,839, which leaves us with an unadjusted ending fund balance of $26,923,190. Our total assets were $156,925,838. Our total liabilities were $69,738,698. And our total net assets are $87,187,140.
Need a motion to approve the financial statements.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. Explanation report.
Item 415 is the approval of the tax collections report for December of 2015. This is the acceptance of the monthly property tax report for the month of December 2015. The 2015 total adjusted tax levy was $19,151,612.96, and the amount of the collections as of December 31st, 2015 is $8,780,583.67, which represents 45.85% of the total tax levy.
Need a motion to approve the tax collection report.
So move, Mayor.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries. 416.
Item 416 is the acceptance of our quarterly report of investments for the quarter ending December 31st, 2015, and interest earned for the 3 months ending December 31st, 2015. The acceptance of the quarterly report is required by the Public Funds Investment Act, Section 2256.023 of the Texas Government Code on the total investments for the quarter ending December 31st, 2015. The total investments purchased were $4,753.19, and the amount of the investments matured was $3,402,759.99, leaving a total of $15,860,117.67 in outstanding investments for the quarter ending December 31st, 2015. The total interest earned on all funds year to date was $15,197.01.
You need a motion to accept those quarterly reports.
Move for approval, Mayor.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. 417, Perez, resolution.
Yes, Mayor, good afternoon, Mayor and Council. 417 is the approval of Resolution 1432, authorizing the Texas Coalition of Affordable Power, TCAP, to negotiate the extension of the current electric supply contract agreement. The City of Mission is a member of TCAP. The city's current contract for power arranged through TCAP expires December 31st, 2017. The TCAP Board of Directors is currently considering to extend the contract or reduce the price under the current contract for 5 years to extend through December 31st, 2022. The City of Mission is required to select one of the 3 different supply options, which are as follows. Option 1 is a fixed price, full requirement at a price not to exceed 4.25 cents per kilowatt hour. Option 2 is a fixed price for on-peak hours and variable spot market prices for off-peak hours. And option 3 is a block energy at a fixed price to cover the base load and a fixed price for solar energy and to cover the mid-peak hours. A variable spot market for all remaining consumptions. After consideration of the 3 options available, staff recommends approval that is seeking approval for the resolution with option 1, which is a fixed price, full requirement, at a price not to exceed 4.25 cents per kilowatt hours.
What do we have before?
Currently, we're at 7 cents, Mayor.
Resolution 1432, we need a motion to approve resolution 1432.
It's a motion and I second.
We have motion and second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
14.
Mayor, City Council, come before you to present item 4.18. This is the authorization to solicit bids for the construction of a water treatment plant main laboratory. The main lab will be constructed at the North Water Treatment Plant and will be used to conduct daily necessary lab analysis for both South and North Water Treatment Plant facilities. The total size of the building will be of approximately 2,700 square feet. And we have attached a floor plan and a location map for your review, and the staff recommending authorization to solicit for bids for this building.
So moved, Mayor.
Second.
We have motion and second to authorize the solicit for bids on the construction of the water treatment plant main laboratory. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries. 419, authorization to surplus 1 truck.
Yes, good afternoon, Mayor and City Council. City of Mission Risk Management Department is requesting authorization to surplus 1 truck. A 2010 meter reader truck was involved in a collision and has been declared a total loss by the city insurance carrier. In order to transfer ownership of the vehicle to the insurance carrier, it is necessary to declare the vehicle surplus.
Need a motion to do the surplus.
So moved.
Second.
We have motion and second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Yes, motion carries. You have a report?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to take the opportunity to thank all the staff members, all the department heads that were involved in our 79 Texas Citrus Fiesta, not only the parade, but throughout the whole weekend. You know, it's a 3-day weekend that it takes for us to get that event going. But before that, we have about 2 to 3 weeks of preparation from both, Parks Department, Public Works Department, the public safety aspect of it as well. So I want to thank everybody and applaud everybody for their hard work. We also, get real involved with the Texas Citrus board and their volunteers and been preparing for that. So I want to thank the board and Bill, the president, for assisting us in the Texas Citrus Fiesta, as well as the Chamber of Commerce, a great partner for us in the Sister City Committee. Ida and Jesse Lema, who work very closely with the, I think it was a total of 15 sister cities that visited us throughout that 3-day weekend. And I know it takes a lot of time and effort, so I want to recognize them and applaud them. And also, we had 3 individuals that work on the city float. This was a city float that was prepared and built by city employees. It was contracted out. And those employees are Bill Clue, Rick Cardenas, and Bob Pena. So I want to thank you all for your hard work.
For many years to come, so it's built permanently. Ready to travel.
Need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.